Hi guys!
Hey everyone!
Welcome to Make 2 and a Sims 4 speed remodel. We are at the Lighthouse island. I think this is called Deadgrass Discoveries. And there's a museum on the island, and I decided I don't really need a museum in Brindleton Bay. What I would like for this to be is a bed and breakfast.
And that looked such a beautiful shot in the wintertime, the snow and ice and mist over the island. Don't know how fun that would be to get over there, to stay in the bed and breakfast, but it does look really cool. Now, of course, in build mode, it's got much sunnier again.
Yeah, I think that in build mode, it just defaults to this version, like the regular sunny version that we get in the game normally. The version that I saved to the gallery, though, shows wintertime because
That's cool.
Yeah, I went into it from live mode while it was snowing, and for some reason, when I did that, it stayed snowing in build mode. So when I saved it to the gallery, you can see the snow. So I think
cool.
That'll be really picturesque. And as you can see, there is an ice skating rink right out here in the front. And as you can also see, it like goes off the actual borders of the lot. So definitely, if anybody is placing this from the gallery, you should turn on BB Move Objects to make sure that nothing gets lost in the placement.
Great tip. So obviously this is a remodel, so you started off with the museum on the island, and you're obviously changing the exterior here. How much changes are you going to make just to the interior? Are you changing things structurally?
Yeah, like I said, it's a speed remodel, not a speed build, so I would say that I kept maybe 80% of the structure. There will definitely be changes in the inside, but from the outside, it's largely the same. Like, I'm keeping this little tower here and the little thing that sticks up on top of it. Technically, I think that's a chimney. But I'm going to change, like, the walls. As you can see, they're going to be lighter sea green and stone. These are from the Seasons pack, I believe.
Okay.
And I'm also going to change the roof. I'm going to add some glass roofs and also just change some of the coloring of the roof that exists already. And as you can see, like there, I changed a little bit of the structure to make that bay window a little smaller so that I could make the windows either side of it symmetrical. So just little things like that here and there.
But I think it's really cool doing a remodel. Obviously, the houses that come with the game for whatever pack or the base game are generally really good. They're well designed. They have great people who build these houses. But it doesn't mean you still can't make use of them and be inspired by them to turn them into something new.
Well, to be honest, the reason that I decided to remodel this, well, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons was because it was glitching. Like, I don't know if the Seasons pack broke it or the patch broke it, but what you'll see later in the video, when you go inside, it looked like all the objects had fallen through the floor. Like, like you could see the very tip top of objects and like they were sticking out through the floor. So I was like, this build is no longer usable. And I looked on the gallery and I looked in our library for the original version. You know, sometimes when you get a pack, they will save the original versions of some builds to your library, but it wasn't there, and I couldn't find it in the gallery either. So I was like, all right, well, then I guess I'll just remodel it. So that's what I'm doing.
I think that's cool. I know a lot of the time we do builds from scratch, but in real life, most people are remodeling existing buildings. Like, we have our house and we might remodel it a little bit, but you're rarely just like scrapping the whole building and starting again.
Yeah, that's super bad for the environment.
That's true as well. So we are being green here in Sims 4 today.
Yeah, in honor of Seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think just lightening up the walls and those pillars and the roof has really changed the vibe of the building.
Yeah, I am going to be getting rid of this horizontal, what do you call this? The thing...
Lintel?
Yeah,
it's lintel over a door. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, whatever it is that is edging the building at the roof line. I will be getting rid of that. I think that was from Seasons, and I just wanted to try it out. But the fact is that it looks a little too heavy, and I want, like I said, the building to look a little lighter. Basically, I'm just updating the outside and making things look still rustic, but just going for some more slightly interesting colors, I guess. Like I said, this is meant to be a bed and breakfast once we're all done.
Yep.
I think you mentioned, like, maybe it would be a difficult crossing over those choppy waters in the winter.
But maybe you come over before the snow hits.
Yes.
And then there's a snowstorm. And then, oh no, you can't go anywhere. You just have to stay tucked away in this beautiful bed and breakfast.
That is exactly what I was thinking about.
Just like in a show we watch.
Yep, that is exactly what I was thinking about. Hyori's Bed and Breakfast. It's a Korean reality show that's on Netflix right now, and it's this pop star Lee Hyori and her husband. They are on Jeju Island in South Korea, and they own a house, which just for the purposes of the show, they turned into a bed and breakfast. Like, they opened it to the applicants who applied to the show to be guests at the bed and breakfast. And there is, in the second season, huge winter storms that basically strand people.
Exactly.
So that's, yeah.
But they all pitch in. It's a bed and breakfast where everyone does the washing up and helps out with things.
Yes.
And basically, if you don't really like reality TV shows, because you find them a bit much, you might really like this. It's on Netflix, comment if you said that. But it is super chilled.
Super
chilled and nice. Everyone's lovely to each other. And it kind of, that floats my boat, I guess.
The main drama of like an episode will be whether the dog wants to come inside or not. You know?
And it's not it's boring. It's not boring. It's all fun because everyone's getting on, and the dogs they have a lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs.
5 dogs, maybe 6.
All super cute, and 3 cats.
3 cats, one of which needs to be on a diet.
Yeah.
And they're all really, really cute. Anyway, that's enough about Hyori's Bed and Breakfast. We're now you're doing the inside, and here you're making bigger changes because, the museum just had, I think, 2 massive rooms on the first floor, and obviously you're adding rooms to make it more functional to be a bed and breakfast space.
Yeah, I do still want to have some touches of museum to it. Like, I didn't want to lose all of the museum flavor, or I wanted to have a couple of nods inside to the fact that it did used to be a museum, so you'll see some of that later in the video. So now I'm just adding some roof trim to echo the colors that we've got going on the walls, and then just doing some editing and correcting of the walls as well, because as you can see, I'm going to get rid of that trim that I mentioned before.
Yep.
The horizontal trim right there. And that means I now need to make the wall all the same color going up and down, but then I find out that at the front, the roof needs to be split into 2 roofs so that I can have the colors matching on the walls there.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, so you still want that one little roof there to be a slightly lighter color. That's cute.
In the front, it's that color. In the back, it's a different color. At the top left, you can see the lot traits. You might notice that it says it's a national park, which is what the museum was to begin with, I think. No, actually, it was probably a museum. Anyway, but the reason that it says national park right now is because we're going to be using this lot in a Let's Play episode, and they need it to be a national park, apparently, for the type of event I want to happen here.
Okay.
The other traits you can see, I think there's like a romance aura around there, so maybe something a little interesting could happen while that event is going on.
Okay.
And then there's also earthquake, which we've never actually used, or I don't think I've ever used it.
No, what
never
does
seen
it do?
it in action. I mean, the description of it is very enticing. Like, it says something like, earthquakes happen here. So I don't know what that will look like for our Sims.
Stuff breaking, I guess.
Right.
Toilets more likely to leak.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. Like,
We'll
the ground isn't going to shake, is it? I don't know.
I've
ever seen that in The Sims.
Yeah.
And sunshine.
Then, sunny aspect, which means like it'll still maintain a good, like, happy weather feeling even when the sun goes down. I think that's the meaning behind it. Yeah. So Sims will continue to feel happy on the lot even though the sun is down, and they'll feel energized and all that stuff.
Energized even at night.
Yeah, so I thought that would be good for a party type of atmosphere. All right, so what I'm working on right now is the kitchen.
Yes.
So when it was a museum, it didn't have a kitchen, but as a bed and breakfast, obviously it needs to be able to serve breakfast and possibly also dinner and lunch for people who are stranded on the island by the snow.
And certainly for the people who live there, who run the B&B.
Yeah, although I haven't worked out I haven't worked out who lives on this property serving the B&B.
Well, some people.
Some people. So for the kitchen, I'm using these jungle adventure countertops.
Yeah, they look very cool. Pretty modern, and lots of counter space, very important.
Yeah.
Because they need to be cooking for a lot of people.
Potentially. There's only going to be 2 bedrooms up here,
Okay.
but maybe people can camp out, or I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cool. A bed and breakfast with a campsite attached.
But also, it's not just for guests of the bed and breakfast. Maybe people who are coming out to see the lighthouse or the pet cemetery, they could stop here for lunch or something.
Or tea. It could be like a tea room.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what the kitchen is for.
Lots of ideas. You could do anything with a kitchen.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you need a big kitchen. Anyway.
So kitchens are normally not your nemesis, but you normally spend a lot of time on them and you agonize over making them just so because you have got very, very high standards for your kitchens.
No, I wouldn't say agonize, but I will say that I did cut a lot of the decorating and building process out of the kitchen here. So yeah, I mean, it took me a while, but I mean, I like for a kitchen to look really nice. That's all.
And as you said before, kitchen is like the heart of the home, so you want to get it right.
Definitely the heart of a bed and breakfast, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I think my favorite part of this build is going to be the living area, which I think I'm about to start on pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
Actually, first I'm going to add a powder room here under the stairs, just a sink and toilet for people to be able to use so that they don't have to go all the way upstairs or out to the outdoor restrooms that you can see on the edge of the property. Now I am adding a bar.
Okay, that makes... I haven't seen a bar before in a bed and breakfast.
I think there was a bar in the museum. So again, that's a nod to the fact of its origins. But the bar is for guests to use late at night or for, like I said, those people who are just being tourists on the island to come and get a drink.
Okay. I think it's pretty cool to have a bed and breakfast that's also has a bit of a party vibe.
Yeah, I agree. But also, I think I was thinking of the Let's Play that we want to do here and the fact that I wanted it to be a party kind of atmosphere as well. So I wanted there to be something for them to do. And I guess mixing drinks and serving drinks is it.
I also think, given you've set this, obviously not in build mode, but to be in the winter, it's cold, people are snowed in, what better thing to do when there's not much going on? If you drink, to have a bar definitely makes people a bit more chatty, have fun, and play games, that kind of thing. Exactly.
Yep.
Maybe have some dancing after people have drunk a bunch of wine and stuff.
You've just reminded me, that was the one thing that I wanted to add to the build is a stereo, because I think I don't have one once all is said and done. So after we stop recording, I'm going to have to remember to go back in and put a stereo in. Yeah.
I'll tie a knot in my handkerchief.
So there is, as you can see, a TV back there.
Yep, a very, very little one.
Yeah, well, that's just for people to like keep up with their sports and whatnot, like
so,
the World Cup maybe while they're,
Yeah, very important news things.
Although technically the World Cup for us is taking place in the summertime, but I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's a wintertime sport for you. So this is the living area that I'm getting started on. As you can see, there is a bay window seat, so I'm basically building the living area around that bay window seat so that it can be part of the seating options in the area.
Yep. That makes sense. And you've got, I like the L-shaped space for the room aside, obviously, from the bay window.
Yeah, I think this came, like, with the actual museum, like the original version. I didn't change the structure of the room there, but I thought, yeah, it makes sense to put the TV in that little nook there and have everything kind of face that way.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you actually put a TV there at all, I think, because in most B&Bs I think we've gone to, they often have a bit more of a traditional oldie vibe.
Yeah.
And they might not have a TV at all, like maybe in the bedrooms, but maybe not in any way.
Well, you'll see that there isn't room in the bedrooms in this one for there to be a TV, so I just thinking of the people the Sims that we want to have here partying and whatnot, like this just seemed like a cozy spot for them to sit around, watch a movie or something like that while they're snowed in. So I am basically just placing rugs down. I think that rug in particular is from the Jungle Adventure pack, and then the other rugs are from like Cats and Dogs and I think Seasons as well. Yeah. The rug here, the big one with these designs, that's going to be for the dining table, which is another big feature of the bed and breakfast. It's going to be not separate tables like another bed and breakfast remodel that we've done on the channel before. I think we did separate tables for those, but this one is going to have just one big communal table, so all the guests will sit there together and chat and get to know each other.
That is cute. We've definitely had that in a couple of the B&Bs we've been to. We've had both tables by ourselves and one big table. It's a shame. I guess you could only have one super long table. You couldn't make the table bigger than that.
Yeah.
Otherwise in this game.
How many people are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm thinking of like I went to one, I think, in Edinburgh. I think it probably had like at least 12 people around the table.
Oh, that's
They had a really
nice.
big table. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And the food was really good. which is key at a bed and breakfast.
Yes, yeah. Over here, by the way, I'm building out a hutch kind of thing. So it occurred to me that like the wood tones matched here. I want to say that these are actually furniture pieces that are not from the same pack, so I was really surprised that the wood tones matched.
Yeah, because often just the color is just slightly different between different packs, even for things where you think they should be the same.
I think they did a good job of making a lot of the seasons wood match the cats and dogs wood in particular, so maybe those are the two packs that I'm thinking of. But I like the idea of the middle of it being like a curvature kind of thing at the top, and then the sides, the flanking sides are straight edge. But they look really good together, I think.
They do look good. I also think with that big hutch and also the bar, kind of gives a sense of maybe its roots, like it is an old building. Maybe they're repurposing furniture or getting a hutch that's been passed down, or maybe it's been upscaled and they've made it look nice again.
Yeah.
As well as obviously attracting the younger crowd. So it's kind of like old world, but also for young people.
I mean, it's very hipstery.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's
it's like that retro vintage feel that like the hipsters would totally love to be
Those
in the middle of.
Those are the two words, yeah, retro and vintage.
I was also thinking like bed and breakfast, but maybe it's also just a house that people could rent, you know, that they don't have to have the actual owners of the B&B there serving them, but they could just rent the house all to themselves.
It's like an Airbnb.
Yeah, an Airbnb.
A very expensive Airbnb because you've basically got an entire island to yourself.
That's true, they do. But they
including a pet cemetery.
They also have to rub shoulders with the tourists and the people who are coming to visit their pets in the cemetery. So,
yeah,
you know, it's not like they have the entire island to themselves or anything like that. So there's your nod to the fact that this used to be a museum. That is the thing that is in the original version of the museum. The
diorama.
Yeah, is that what you call it when it's under a table like that? Like a diorama, I feel like is like a vertical opening, whereas that is under a glass display.
I don't know. Diorama's a more American thing than British, so
I would say
like the word.
Like it's a model of the island.
Yeah, a little model. Of the yeah, we know what it is. We don't know the word, but that's cute. That was in the museum, of course, and now it's stayed in the museum and is part of the entry hall.
Yeah,
I think it's cool too because any guests at the B&B can look at that, get their bearings, just like they could in the museum, and say, okay, where are we going to go today? Even if it's snowing, maybe we'll go for a little bit of a walk.
And then the tourists who are not guests of the B&B, they just come in and they see like a museum-ish type of thing. And they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. This place has history and it's, you know, a national park or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So now I'm basically just editing the area where the bar is, just kind of giving it some pizzazz, some decorations with these barrels. Just the fact that this is an island and you get to it by a boat. So therefore you need like these nautical decorations on the walls and, you know, what is that steering wheel there for the ship?
It's a wheel. I think it's just
a wheel, not a steering wheel.
It's not got a steering wheel. I don't think so. And there's a tree inside because it's called.
No. It's a decorative tree. It's going to be a porch because this is a huge, wide wraparound porch, which I really love, but it needs some filling out. It needs some decoration and some furniture on.
Yeah, and we've also got some bookcases in the living room. We didn't mention that before.
Yeah, those are from Seasons. Aren't they gorgeous?
They are really good, and also makes a lot of sense in the B&B. Normally, when you go there, they have a big bookshelf, and they'll have some books that you can just browse and take to your room and read, or sit by the fire.
Yeah.
And read by the big open fireplace that I don't think we have in this build.
There will be a fireplace.
Oh, yay! Okay, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are in the upstairs now. The original version of this building, you can see here, it's just got this weird little room on the second floor.
Lookout tower.
Yeah, no, this room that I'm talking about, not this room.
Oh, not that. Oh, okay,
the
not
one
that
under
room.
This room. Anyway.
The other room.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm doing is making the upstairs into the actual bed space. So you've got these tiny little rooms, 2 rooms for 2 beds, and then there's going to be a bathroom at the end of the hallway, as you can see here, which the guests will share.
Yep.
No ensuite bathrooms, there just wasn't room for it on the second floor. But I think it's cozier, and maybe, like I said, if it's a group of people who are renting the entire house for themselves, they won't mind sharing a bathroom too much.
Yeah. And also I think because you know you're staying somewhere more historic that has more character and charm, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
When we went to Colonial Williamsburg, which is in Virginia in the United States, and it's kind of a town that has been here for like a few hundred years, you could stay in a hotel, a bed and breakfast that was a building that's been there for 300 years, and you can have the experience of staying in a room which has, you know, only candlelight, only old-fashioned chairs and the beds from 300 years ago, but probably made a little bit bigger because we might be a little bit taller than the people back then. And I thought that was really cool. We didn't stay in it because we ended up staying somewhere a little bit more modern. But that was really cool. So maybe people here want that kind of vibe as well.
I like how you say that 300 years old as if it's like at all impressive to somebody who grew up in England where things are regularly much older than 300.
I'll tell you what, I would never even consider staying in a room that was like 1,000 years old from some weird castle in the UK.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It would be pretty cool. I'm just thinking practically, what if it didn't have any windows and or anything on the floor?
What if it was like a stone hovel or something like that?
Yeah, that didn't have a roof because it's 1,000 years old.
No, obviously it would have the history of being 1,000 years old, but they would have added, updates like indoor plumbing and heating and all that stuff. But I just love the idea of like a heritage house, a place where people have been living for hundreds of years, like passed down from generation to generation, and you can see like on the walls all the paintings of the people who used to own the house.
Yeah, so all the different generations.
Real like secret garden kind of thing.
That could be cool, and this is a mini version of that with these very tiny bedrooms.
Well,
to reflect what bedrooms used to be like maybe when this museum was originally built. Maybe it didn't even used to be a museum when it was first built.
It used to be a house and then it was a museum, and now it's a house again / bed and breakfast. I just feel like the bedrooms can be small because the guests are not going to be spending their time in the bedrooms. They're only going to be there for sleeping. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're going to be using the house and the island and exploring and all that stuff.
That's true. Also, they do look really cozy, small as they are. So I'd be happy to stay in one of those.
Cool.
And that last room on the second floor, which was, a bit of an artist studio, office kind of thing. What do you think you wanted to do with that?
Well, I'll tell you what I want to do with it because I am doing it. Basically, I'm just turning it into a little office / reading nook. And maybe this is more for the people who own the B&B because it's going to be behind a door, as you can see, and there's this like weird walkway to get to it.
Oh, I see. Yes.
I mean, this is part of the original design of the house, and I couldn't figure out a way to fix it without like spending ages on it. And I was already spending long enough remodeling.
Yeah, the only thing I think to do would maybe get rid... Oh, you've got the stairs there.
Exactly.
I was thinking like make it more open with the main hallway.
Yeah, you could do that. You could just knock out the walls, but I mean, whatever.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
It is definitely quiet. I think, somewhere for the owner or person who's looking after it for the day to retreat, do their papers, maybe just have a coffee break.
Exactly.
You could even put a day bed in there maybe, so if they were staying here overnight as well, maybe it's just one person. There's space in there for a little bed.
Yeah, maybe like a little tent or something.
Or they curl up on the floor in a little doggy bed or something like that.
Are there sleeping bags in the game?
I don't know. There should be.
Well, I wanted it to be like an office because I don't know if you saw the sofa that I used in between the two bookcases there. But that came from Cats and Dogs. And I think there was a version of that type of sofa in the original museum. So I wanted there to, still be a version of that kind of sofa there. So, And then on the very top floor here, just a little extra seating spot for whoever wants to come up here and just get away from it all. Maybe they're getting a little bit antsy around all the people. Maybe they're a loner sim, for instance, who doesn't like to be around people too much. Okay. So she wants to just come up here and chill out for a bit.
It's like a little meditation solitude room.
Sure, yeah.
A room of solitude.
And I think later I will be adding a door so that you can actually access the walkway around the little tower. But that's basically it. We're just going through shots of the finished version. I've added a little bit of clutter here and there.
Yeah, I think every house needs some clutter, which really helps make it feel lived in. But I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks particularly beautiful in the wintertime with all that snow falling around it. Love to stay here. Maybe see if I can practice some of my ice skating.
So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this speed remodel. We're going to do a little bit of testing, we're going to do some let's playing with it, and then we will upload it to the gallery as soon as we can.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it works with the let's play and have a whole bunch of people enjoying the bar, the outside, the snow.
The skating.
The skating too, definitely.
Alrighty guys, if you are new to our channel, feel free to subscribe because we've got plenty more Sims 4 on the way.
Thanks for watching.